Hi guys, it's Chucky. Just kidding. It's Haley Homicide. Welcome back to my channel. So today you're probably wondering, why are you dressed like Chucky? And if you watched my last video, you probably saw that Hot Topic actually sent me this little outfit and I needed to do some campaign photos in it. So voila, I am dressed as Chucky. I did a little Chucky cosplay to go along with the costume or the outfit. And since I took some photos and did this so late at night, I figured, why waste the getup? Let's film a horror related video while I'm actually dressed like this so that all of you could see it. So that is what this is. Now, the confusing part is this video has nothing to do with Chucky or killer dolls or anything of that nature. This video is actually going to be a review on Terrifier 2. If you've been on my channel at all, you know I am absolutely obsessed with Terrifier. I am obsessed with Art the Clown. Anytime I make a YouTube video about like movies you need to watch, Halloween movies that you should watch, or just things of that nature, I always mention Terrifier because it is, in my opinion, one of the best slashers that we have had in the last like 10 years. It's phenomenal in my opinion. Very campy, very cheesy, so if you're not into that kind of thing, I wouldn't waste your time watching either one. Now, if you don't know what Terrifier is, it is a slasher movie about a killer clown, which, funny enough, I am not a killer clown person. I really don't care for clowns that much. As a horror lover, they're one of my least favorite, and Terrifier is one of my favorite franchises. So, how does that make sense? Because this is just so different and so amazing. So if you have not watched the first Terrifier and you're into like campy fun movies, go watch it. If you like killer clowns, find them scary, find them fun, watch it. And if you just want something good and different to watch it. But if you're sticking around, then let's dive into Terrifier 2. So they have been in the production of Terrifier 2 for quite some time, before the pandemic, and it actually got halted because of the pandemic. Terrifier is a very like niche kind of small franchise, and by that I mean it is very much so horror community people that just support this film. So a lot of people have seen it, but it's still fairly undergroundish, I would say. So what was really special about this is, you know, during the halt of it, everyone was a little stressed, like, oh, are they still doing it? You know, is it still going on? And they pushed through. In fact, there was a behind the scenes thing in the theater that showed like some extra stuff. And when they had to kind of halt things, they just added more into a scene. So super, super great, super cool. But as far as the movie, just right off the bat, I'm going to just tell you what I thought of it. I absolutely love this movie. Movie of the year, for sure. 2022. It is my favorite horror movie. In fact, it may be one of my favorite horror movies in general. I have not stopped thinking about it since I saw it. And I saw it about a week ago, and it has just been on my mind almost every day. Still has the cheesiness, the comedic value, all of those things that the original has, but I feel like everything was amped up a notch, including the gore, including the kill scenes, which I know gore is not for everyone, but I am someone that's really into gore. I love a good scene in a horror movie. I've even complained on my channel about how I don't like when the camera like jumps away from a kill scene. That's one of my pet peeves, and this movie is the opposite of that. Like, in fact, the Terrifier Twitter account every day has been sharing that people have fainted, thrown up, and cried in the theater. Which, don't get me wrong, every time a horror movie comes out, like I feel like every 10 years we have a horror movie that it'll be like, oh, they needed a priest to come in, or people like shit themselves in the theater. Like there's always something. And I feel like this, watching it, I get it. Like, did I scream, cry, or throw up? No. But I can see why someone who might not be this into like gory films or something would. It was very, very brutal. And I would say it's one of the most brutal horror movies I've seen in years. It was insane. I have been wanting a movie to just satisfy my need for like something very practical effects, something funny, something that's like a slasher that feels classic and old but also new at the same time, and this satisfied every single one of those needs. I have not left a theater this satisfied in years, and that is saying something because we've had some gems this year. Like, we have had amazing horror movies come out already that I've seen in the last few weeks, and this still topped them all. Um, phenomenal, amazing. I just loved it. One of the downsides to this movie that I've been seeing people complain about is it is 2.5 hours long, and that is no exaggeration. It is actually 2.5 hours long, and to me, it didn't feel that way. I feel like it went by. It maybe felt like it was like an hour and 45 minutes. The only complaint I have is I feel like the end went by a little slow. That's the only time I started being like, okay, this does feel a little long right now. But it's brief. It's like the last like 15 minutes maybe. Also, if you go see this in theaters, stay until after the credits. It does show a little something. So, yeah. But that's honestly the only thing I could think of, and just the fact that if you're not into gore, you're not into like, I don't want to say like body horror, but just really brutal kills, I would not go see this movie. It is not for you. But there's a reason it has a really strong following. These films have such a strong following, and it's all this like little tight-knit community that just loves these movies. So if you're, into that kind of thing, go see this. Go see it while it's in theaters. Go support it. I actually want to try to go see it at least one more time before it's out of theaters, just to support this movie. I think it deserves it so much. Art the Clown honestly tops like what he was in the first Terrifier. Everyone was saying that they were a little nervous, like, is he gonna bring that same energy to the table? And he does, even more so. There's a certain scene in Terrifier 1, if you watched it. It's the scene with the girl hanging upside down that he cuts in half. And everyone who has seen this movie is like, that scene was insane. Like, one of the most brutal scenes they've seen in years. And everyone was like, is he gonna top that? Are they gonna have something similar? And in my opinion, yeah, they do. They definitely top it. His character, I feel like, is even more funny, even more kind of like, just, he teases like a clown, and he does that a little bit more in this movie too. Some of my favorite aspects of this movie were the humor, honestly. There would be a kill scene happening, and you'd kind of be laughing at the same time because those comedic elements are definitely there. As well as after kills, he kind of messes with the elements around him and uses them for like a little gag, and I absolutely love that. It was so fun to watch him. I can't get enough of Art the Clown. He is one of, if not my favorite slasher at the moment. As insane as that is, I love Leatherface, I love Ghostface, I love all of those, but he's different than those. But he feels like he came out of like an 80s movie, in my opinion. At least the campiness and quirkiness of his character. He does not talk. That's not necessarily a spoiler, but he doesn't talk. He's mute. And I mean, a lot of movies have done it in the past, but when you have a character that doesn't talk, sometimes it's hard to have that personification there and to have that character feel like a strong character. He doesn't need to say a word. Like, he does not. His facial expressions, his body language, every single thing does it for him. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I would rate this movie a 10 out of 10. I think it was incredible, and it takes a lot for me to say that. I feel like I've been just rating so many movies so high that I hope you guys aren't like, oh, well, you just like everything now. But I normally don't like a lot of movies that I see in theaters. I don't rave about them. So that definitely says something. Like I said, if you don't like anything that's sort of cheesy as a horror movie, or just comedy mixed with horror at all, I definitely wouldn't watch this. I don't want to hear people in the comments be like, that was stupid, because anytime I recommend Terrifier to people, it's hit or miss. Like, people will either love it, think it's one of the best things they've ever seen, or they're like, that was really dumb. I don't trust your opinions anymore. So, but it is very, very strong in the horror community, if that says anything other than just my opinion. And I've been seeing nothing but good comments about this. I think one of the worst comments I saw was someone said that this movie was really stupid, and then they said that they loved it. So I still take that as a good comment. But go see Terrifier 2, go support it, and yeah, thank you for listening to me ramble on about Art the Clown for 10 minutes. I love you guys so much. Have a wonderful rest of October. I hope you spooky babies do some fun stuff for the month and just have a wonderful fall. And until then, I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.